Would you look at these little beauties? What's up, everybody? Wanted to share this little project with you. Finally, something at T's Good Times Garage gets completed. And this one's been a long time back burner project. And actually they were pretty close. I've had them kind of in a box wrapped up for a couple years now at this point. I had them all cleaned up and painted in the silver. And really the last thing to do was the lettering. And Mrs. T surprised me, lettered those up, and man, they really pop. They just look absolutely freaking beautiful. So these are some of the first nice wall hangers. This is kind of a random hodgepodge of parts here, obviously. Matching pair, single. And so there's a little bit of a story to that. About 20 years ago or so. So there was a guy that had some property near my parents' house where I grew up. And he was trying to sell a bunch of random crap, a lot of cars, a bunch of miscellaneous, because they were selling the property for progress. That's another thing. We obviously need places to live, but this was nice wide open space right at the base of a mountainside. Really beautiful, and now it's a bunch of homes. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. There were several cars there that I was very interested in and was trying to acquire. And I did acquire, let's see, how many did I get? I ended up with 2.5, I guess you'd say. So one was a 54 Chevrolet 4-door. Looked like it might have been a taxi at one point. I bought that because the guy said, give me $35 for it. Okay, $35, I can do that. I drug it home. And then there were two 56 Desotos. I guess this was a brother, a family situation. One brother had the Chevrolet. Another brother had the Desotos. He said, you want this car? And it was a 56 Fireflight. Come get it. I'll get you the title. And it had a vintage, I love the title. The title is very old, Utah title. So he gave me the car. And there was a 56 Fire Dome, 2-door. That had been hit. It already had a bunch of parts robbed off of it. He said, if you need anything off of that car, go ahead and pull it off too. So I began that process. I drug the 56 Fireflight home and started tearing parts off the Fire Dome. And wouldn't you know it, inside of the Fire Dome were all these random miscellaneous parts. And if you haven't figured it out by now, you probably already know. This is Desoto Hemi stuff right here. And unfortunately, only the one valve cover and its matching spark plug wire cover, and then these beautiful pair of Fire Dome covers for the spark plug wires. So yeah, naturally that was coming home with me. So it is a Hemi, first generation DeSoto variety. So here we are. We've got these cleaned up finally. The lettering done, thanks to Mrs. T. She did amazing. There's no way I could have, and she freehanded this, by the way. So these are beautiful parts. I mean, they're not perfect. Obviously, get down in here, you see some of the pitting from these sitting rusting for so long. And I did a little body work on them, but I didn't necessarily need them to be flawless. The paint came out really awesome. The lettering, beautiful. These are going to go up on the wall. These are going to be a beautiful addition to Mopar House. I know we've mentioned DeSoto a couple of times, and obviously with these parts, yeah, I am into DeSotos a little bit. And I have one still. I still have the Fireflight. And it sits behind Mopar House, buried under snow right now. Here's a little sneak peek. And I think the major reason we haven't introduced this car, well, there's a couple, right? One, obviously, location. This is the DeSoto right now, under a bunch of snow, in the back of my yard, junkyard, in the back of my junk yard, with all the other stuff. This one is a back burner, unfortunately. However, that hopefully will change this year at some point. A few things planned, at least on the drawing board for this car. And whatever it is going to be, ratty. So let's hold off. We won't go any deeper into this. I do want to do an official intro to this car one of these days. So for now, just enjoy the wall art that Mrs. T perfected. Beautiful, beautiful lettering. I could not have done this. Stay tuned, stick around. Lots of stuff to come. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.